Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to Xbox On. There are literally hundreds of great games on Xbox Game Pass, whether you're playing on console, PC, or both with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
The only hard decision is which ones to play, so we're picking out our favourites from that long list. This time, we're looking at the very best campaigns, those single-player experiences and brilliant stories that keep us playing for hours.
Gotham braced itself for the inevitable power struggle, but it didn't come.
Arkham Knight's campaign starts somewhere pretty unusual for a Batman story. The Joker is dead, and Batman sort of misses him.
But there's never a shortage of villains in Gotham City, and not only are the likes of Two-Face and Harley Quinn and even Scarecrow causing trouble, but there's a mysterious new villain in town, the Arkham Knight.
That means more of this series' brilliant voice cast, including Troy Baker, Kevin Conroy, and Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill.
The mystery of who is behind the Arkham Knight's mask will keep you guessing throughout a story brilliantly told against the backdrop of the biggest open world ever seen in an Arkham game.
Along the way, you get to team up with Robin, Nightwing, and Catwoman and jump behind the wheel of the Batmobile for the very first time, along with a classic Arkham mix of stealth, brawling, and exploration.
With 3 endings to unlock and a new game plus that lets you experience the story again with all your powers unlocked from the start, Arkham Knight sends Rocksteady's Bat Trilogy out with a bang. A bat bang. A batarang bang. A batter bang.
What am I doing wasting my time here? He's got this.
Devil May Cry 5's campaign has a fantastic and compelling story, but puts the emphasis on stylish action with a trio of demon slayers who all put their own spin on combat.
Longtime DMC star Dante makes his return with a fighting style focused on flexibility. Dante has multiple combat styles to switch between, but the highlights have to be the Devil Arms, a pair of buzzsaw weapons that transform into a motorcycle, and a magic cowboy hat called Dr. Foss that can be thrown odd job style.
Meanwhile, Nero is all about his Devil Breakers, disposable robotic arms that can be collected during stages.
Each breaker comes with its own special ability. One fires shockwaves and another shoots off like a rocket, letting Nero surf on it and crash into enemies.
It's a literal armory. Finally, newcomer V doesn't fight directly at all. He's got 3 demons he can summon, a spiky panther, an eagle with lightning powers, and Nightmare, a giant golem.
Every frame of combat looks gorgeous thanks to Capcom's incredible RE engine, and with Xbox One X enhancements, it all runs at 60 frames per second in a native 4K resolution.
Well, it's just us now. So what's in here anyway?
Gears 5 is a blockbuster sequel, delivering huge set pieces, varied locations, and a surprising amount of heart, thanks to the characters of Delta Squad and their relationships with one another.
The campaign puts the spotlight on Kate Diaz as she uncovers her connection to the Locust and the secrets of their origins.
But as you play, you'll switch between various characters, especially if you're playing in co-op, where 2 players control human Delta Squaddies and a third can steer their robot buddy, Jack.
It's all built around that satisfying Gears combat with a trademark mix of cover shooting, active reloading, and straight up cutting baddies in half with your chainsaw.
But 5 also has plenty to add to the formula. Upgrading Jack gives you access to brand new powers like a cloak that makes you invisible and the ability to hijack and take control of enemy units.
And for the first time in a Gears game, there's even a smattering of open world style exploration. It's exactly what you'd want from a sequel, the best of the old and familiar, peppered in with new ideas and brought together with a compelling personal story.
From blockbuster action to a game with all the charm of a classic Disney movie, Ori and the Blind Forest has gorgeous hand-painted artwork, a beautiful score, and even the heartbreaking death of a parent early on in the story.
It's like Bambi's mum all over again. It might feel like an animated film, but Ori plays like a platform game with Metroidvania-style exploration.
As you journey through the forest, you'll unlock new abilities like wall jumps, ground slams, and climbing, all opening up new areas across the world.
The Definitive Edition expands every part of it with new areas, abilities, and secrets for you to find. With the sequel, Ori and the Will of the Wisps due next year, it's the perfect time to explore the Blind Forest. Just maybe have the tissues ready.
We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider closes out the trilogy that began with 2013's Tomb Raider, taking Lara Croft back to her beginnings in a rebooted origin story.
In Shadow, Lara completes her journey to become the Raider of Tombs we all know and love. But it's not a smooth ride. The game starts with Lara accidentally setting in motion the Mayan apocalypse. Nothing big, meaning you spend the campaign trying to undo her mistake and save the world. By raiding some more tombs, obviously.
This is a much wilder Lara than any that we've seen before, becoming one with the jungle. That means camouflaging yourself in mud, setting traps, and dipping arrows in venom to take out foes.
But it's not all trees and ferns. You spend a lot of time in the hub world, the lost city of Paititi. And if you want to follow the trilogy from start to end, all 3 Tomb Raider games are available on Xbox Game Pass for console. It's a whole lot of Lara.
Am I gonna have a problem with you?
No, sir. No reason to assume you would.
Good, because you are the only augmented operative on this team, and I intend to make good use of you.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided's campaign takes you to the year 2029, and as you'd probably expect, the future's not too bright.
You play Adam Jensen, an augmented human in a world that hates and fears anyone whose body is cybernetically enhanced.
You spend most of the game in a futuristic Prague, investigating a bomb attack and trying to expose the Illuminati.
Sounds like a great excuse to break out said augments with everything from radar eyes to hands that shoot electricity. Wish I had radar eyes.
What really makes this campaign though is just how much choice it gives you about how the story plays out. You can pick which abilities you're most interested in with upgrades that help out in conversation as much as combat.
Every mission can be approached by sneaking, hacking, fighting, and you can end the game having never touched anyone or with a huge body count, or anywhere in between.
And every one of those choices will feed into what ending you get to see.
Everything can change in an instant, whether or not you're ready.
Fallout 4 is so much more than just its campaign. The Wasteland is a huge open world with landmarks, side quests, and supplies crammed into every post-apocalyptic nook and cranny.
On top of all that, 4 introduces base building and crafting to let you leave more of a mark on the world.
If you can resist all of that though, with some rad resist, you'll find a strong narrative-driven main quest that takes your custom character from the Vault Fallout shelter to the Shadowy Institute.
Along the way, you'll decide which of 4 factions to side with, changing how the story ends, with your path constantly diverted based on what you find in the Wasteland. Your version of the Fallout 4 campaign won't be like anyone else's.
It's the best kind of story, the one you make yourself.
Hello. Who are you? Doesn't matter.
You're going to want to grab your headphones for this one. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice uses binaural sound to really put you inside the head of its main character, the broken-hearted Celtic warrior Senua, and hear the voices that she does.
Senua suffers from psychosis, and Hellblade works to represent this condition accurately, based on input from neuroscientists and people who experience psychosis in their real lives.
The game uses visual trickery to show you what it's like living with visual hallucinations, but it's the sound which will really stick with you.
At any time, there might be a dozen voices chattering in your ears, all of them given dimension by the binaural recording techniques. You can not only tell which direction they're coming from, but how close or far away they are.
It's incredibly effective and makes it hard to know what is real and what is a delusion.
Hellblade is an undeniably dark game, but it's an experience that will stick with you long after you put down the controller and take off the headphones.
You are a long way from home, cowboy.
Over the years, a horde of Resident Evil games have shambled across our screens. More than 20, depending on how you're counting. But number 4 is arguably still the best in the entire series.
We could tell you how influential Resident Evil 4 was on both horror and action games, but what really matters is that it still gets the blood pumping.
The over-the-shoulder shooting is tense, with huge mobs of enemies who just keep getting back up, and there's the occasional jump scare too, to raise your heart rate.
With a remastered edition that lets you play in 1080p at 60 frames per second, it's a great time to revisit a classic.
I have brought the incompetent.
You may leave, Tartarus.
But I thought...
And take your brutes with you.
And speaking of classics, the Master Chief Collection gets you not one, but 4 of the greatest FPS campaigns of all time.
Combat Evolved was obviously a genre-redefining launch for the series, but if you're picking one campaign to sample, we'd recommend Halo 2.
It was the game which introduced the Arbiter as a playable character alongside old Master Chief.
It was a bold move which gave us a new perspective on the galaxy-spanning Covenant conflict and massively opened up the Halo universe.
The version included in the Master Chief Collection is the remastered Anniversary Edition, given a stunning visual overhaul with brand new assets and textures and hugely improved lighting.
Vitally though, the core experience remains exactly the same, something you can see for yourself thanks to the ability to switch back and forth between remastered and original graphics at the press of a button.
And if 4 classic campaigns isn't quite enough for you, there's also Halo 3 ODST. Its campaign left behind the superpowered Spartans for the first time to focus instead on rank and file troopers.
With voices from Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk, it's a distinctive Halo experience, and you can add it to the Master Chief Collection for just $3.59 with your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription.
Where's the rest of your platoon?
Wasted, Sarge.
And we will be too, sir, if we don't get the hell out of here.
So those are 10 of our favorite campaigns, but you're sure to have your own, so make sure to let us know which ones you're loving down in the comments below.
For more best of lists, plus weekly deals and updates on the latest Xbox developments, subscribe to the Xbox on YouTube channel.
Also, hit that like button and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!